What's up, guys? We're gonna real beats. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make melodies that aren't too melodic but still sound good. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned post notifications on, do so because it does up a lot. Let's hop right into it. So BPM just slightly slower, just 5 below. Doesn't really matter too much. And we can just go ahead and get started. I'm gonna grab in a scale. We can use a minor because I kind of want to make something dark. So let's do it an E minor. Okay, and let's go ahead and start. And I'll just kind of show you how you can kind of build these melodies out. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the melody. So this is the VST that I'm using. All right, so right at the gate, the first thing you can do to kind of make it sound good but less melodic is just use less chords. So the more chords that you use, so if we do something like this, right, as like a start of our chord progression, by default our top melody or whatever would be super melodic, right? So first thing we do is kind of just cut that in half and then make it super basic. And you see people do this a lot when they like, let's go on the root, they do this and then they go like down or up 1 2 3 4 5. So that's something you can do, right? And then the other thing that I want to show you is you can start somewhere right here. Now I know the root is E, but starting in between these half steps here will help a lot with that, right? Make it sound good but still kind of ease back on the, you know, the melodic aspect of it. So let's go ahead and make a melody here, and we are in the thirds grid. Okay, you do not have to be in the thirds grid. It's just a preference kind of beat that I want to make today. With this, we can use our thirds grid, and you can kind of, if you want to kind of make a chord out of it, whatever you like, you can do, right? Okay, but I'm gonna pull this down so it's not this minor chord, right? And then what I want to do next is maybe bring this over and just kind of let this play out through this area, and then, you know, copy it over if you want, and then let's pull this up an octave. And let's just keep adding some notes, something like this. Okay, and just let it breathe, because with melodies like this, a lot of times people will repeat it over and over, and sometimes that doesn't sound that good. Okay, and let's just drag these out, and let's just take this, right? And then what we want to do is just bring this note down to wherever we like. So I'm gonna just bring it down 1 because I've done this before, so I kind of know what notes I like to use by default. And then now we just kind of make variations. So we could delete this and maybe just kind of do the same thing from here to here and just move this note down here. Okay. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's maybe throw one up here. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, I kind of like that rhythm, so let's copy it over. And that is the melody. So that would be the slowest part of the video. Everything else will be a lot faster because we got this blueprint. So let's go ahead and move on to the next instrument. All right, so let's start with our second sound, and with the rest of these sounds I want to keep it very basic because we also still have a lot of processing to do afterwards to kind of make it all mesh together. So with this, I'm gonna just kind of pick some notes, and I'm gonna use the half beat grid and just kind of pick some notes that I might like. I kind of like that dynamic between the thirds grid and the half grid, so I'm gonna just use this, and we can copy this over. Just keep it simple. Everything doesn't have to be super complex. Okay, I like that, so let's go ahead and move on to the last instrument. All right, so lastly we have a violin. All right, so this will be kind of like our second counter or whatever. So with this, you got to be careful with these, like the more sounds you add, because the more you do, the more melodic it'll sound. And I just want to keep it at the level it's at now. So if you decide you kind of want to start going up and down the scale, you got to be a little bit careful with the notes you use, because if you just, let's just do something like this real basic. Let's see what that sounds like. right? You can see the more we go up and down, it's starting to sound melodic. So let's delete this. And what we can do to kind of keep it at the level it's at is use these notes, these little half steps here, okay? So I'm gonna just pick one and I'm gonna let it just play out throughout the bar. And I'm gonna go down here to these bunch and use one of these. Let's see this one. And then really we could just repeat that. I kind of like that. All right, so that is the melody. We still have processing to do after, but let's go ahead and add the 808 in the drums. All right, so our 808 should be pretty easy because if we just go here and go back down, we know that these notes we can use for our 808. And we can place them in Shift D to make them smaller. Just turn them up because we want to focus on the 808 on this beat. And really we can just move this one over in that 808 spot right here, and then rinse and repeat over here. And then from here, really let me see. Let's pull this up an octave. See what that will sound like. Right, and I think that's simple enough. And if I wanted to add variation, once I structure it out, you can add other stuff and all this other stuff. All right, so let's move on to the rest of the drums. All right, so let's go ahead and throw our drums in. So with this, what I like to do is kind of bounce these off of the 808 rather than kind of mix it in with the melody. So what I mean by that is look for where the 808 is and then place drums after or before. So I'm gonna just take this hi-hat. Right, so we could I'm gonna just do something random. Let's do something like this, right? So you can see they're not playing on the 808, but they're bouncing off of it, and that'll create bounce later. Right, so I'm gonna kind of fast forward through these, and then if I go ahead and do anything in the piano roll, I'll go ahead and slow it down and show that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. All right, so here are the drums, okay? And I'll just move this, I'll just move it out the way. Okay, so that is it for the actual beat. So now let's go ahead and I'm gonna go and kind of load up some presets and show you some things you can do to kind of fuse all this together. All right, so we're gonna go over the effects, and this is the beat, just dry. Okay, so I just load up some presets here and I'm just go through them and kind of why I wanted to use them. So I'm gonna start on the guitar. I'm gonna turn this on and kind of just mute this. So I just put a RC20 just default effect on there. Just kind of match the kind of beat that I want to make. So I want to kind of get that chorus sound. And then this is the big one. So 1/8 triplet, I believe. And then just, everything is regular. And then this is going to kind of die down the melodic part of it, just so it's kind of in the background. And then I have a multi-pass, which is going to it's kind of like a reverb, kind of something like that. This plugin is very complex, but I'll just play it. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn this off. So over here, obviously nothing. Okay, so for our violin, now this you can get creative. I just want to try something new, so I did a panning, from left to right or right to left, whatever. And then I put this filter, but I messed with the bands a bit to try to get a sound that I liked. At first I had something like this. Oh, we got to turn it on. And I don't know what I did, but all right, I don't know what I did, but something got messed up. But here is the pattern. And at first I liked this, but then I was like, I'm gonna just dial it back a bit. All right, and that's pretty much it. And then for the master, I just went ahead and put this frequency splitter. I'll pull this up a bit. I'm just to make the drums crispy and put a soft clipper on. And then I'll just play the whole beat all out. Try to get it to repeat here. Alright, and that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.